That's right. More financially investing than the and I love Cavante. It's the Flex Zone podcast, and we
I
are
like
back
that.
here on a special edition, live on a Tuesday night. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. We're back again, less than 24 hours after another amazing episode 356. Again, shout out to the good
Historic,
brother Engraven.
historic
Yes,
episode.
historic episode that will go down in the books. We're back talking college football playoffs, and we're giving you that preview like nobody else on the YouTube airways. But first and foremost, y'all know who I am, God's favorite host, the host of the Moist, your boy BKD. And of course, I brought my brother with me, the commander Lorian himself, captain of the Goofy ship, and Mr. Ohio State himself, repping Buckeye Nation, Cravante, baby.
Hey man, we here, man. We here. We on a high at this point, man. last night, Monday on our regular show was amazing, historic. Again, shout out to Engraven and all of our supporters, man. Finally got over that milestone that we've been looking for, and it's only up from here.
Yes, shout out to Queen Mia. I see you.
Hey, what's up with it,
Yes,
girl?
shout out to the Queen. I will be live with her tomorrow, so you can check us out as we do each and every Wednesday. And Cravante, college football. August is basically over. Summertime is ending. Kids are back to school, as you know, and
Yes.
college football. It technically has started already, but it really gets started this weekend, Labor Day weekend. How are you feeling? I know you're excited, brother, because we're heading into that time where you got college, NFL, and so many other things, NBA eventually. How you feeling, brother? And what are your initial thoughts as we get ready for another college football season?
So this fall come, it's betting season, baby. I ain't gonna hold you, baby. That's what it is. It is betting season, man. Looking at these overs and unders, looking at these spreads, college football. College football spreads be a little bit different than the pros, but man, it's in the air. It's back. It's still a little hot outside, so we're not all the way in the season yet, but it is starting. I'm very, very excited. I have a Heisman hopeful on my team, which I am very, very, very excited about. And we might see a couple usual suspects come college football playoffs.
Well, let's get into it. Usual suspects. Last time we talked about college football, we saw Georgia win their first national championship in what, since the 80s? They got it
Yeah,
done.
yeah, I think it's
It
been
was,
about 30.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
might have
been
been
about
like
30 years,
87, 30 years. Yeah.
30 something
Beating
years.
Alabama, slaying the Dragon after losing to them in the
That was
SEC
get back. That was
championship.
get back season. It was get back because
Definitely.
they got beat up. They got beat up on in the SEC championship. And I mean, if you're gonna get them back, for me, if I'm gonna play you twice, I want you the second time. I'm
Right.
just saying.
Georgia lose pretty much their whole defense, goes in the first round or at some point in the draft. Bring back Stu Bennett. He was very solid, I think, and I think is a guy that can get better. Kirby Smart, disciple of Nick Saban. I still think people are kind of sleeping on Georgia Cravante. How do you feel about that as we kind of start with the SEC, which is probably the conference in college football?
Of
How you
course.
thinking, looking at Georgia? We start with Georgia. How you looking at Georgia going into title defense?
Um, so it's hard. Well, it's understandable why they're not necessarily getting the respect that they deserve because when you're not consistently there, people are always going to question it. That's why Alabama and Ohio State are always, somewhere in the top three because they are always there. They're always legitimately there. And again, Georgia lost a lot of pieces, a lot of first round picks, quite a few first round picks. I feel like the whole D line, went in the first round, and even a couple guys that should have been in the first round didn't go, but still got drafted. So it's a new look defense, but one thing they hang their hat on is defense. So I think it'll be a little bit of a step back because I mean, again, I can't emphasize how great their defense was. They were Raven like in college football, and our college football they run it up, and they was holding folks to two scores a game is absolutely absurd. But I think they will take a step back because I don't know if they'll be able to match that talent after it leaves so quickly. they will absolutely be relevant and they will absolutely compete. But I don't think their defense will be as good as previously advertised.
Now, a team I want to talk about real quick, speaking of SEC, Texas A&M. We hear about this NIL class. They have the number one recruiting class. They probably paid for it. That's legal now in
Yep,
college
do it.
sports, like free agency in the
Yep.
NFL and other sports. Jimbo Fisher's there. We know Jimbo has a national championship history on his own, right, with
Sure.
Jameis at Florida State. Are you buying into Texas A&M? Are they a little overhyped? Are you saying they could be a sleeper for the college football playoff?
Well, just like the rest of the country, I got to see it.
Right.
I think A&M finding their place and finding their niche. Well, that's yet to be determined, but some rule changes have happened and they are taking full advantage of it as they should because they're in the SEC. If you want to compete, look up Alabama, Georgia, and them boys are there, and they're gonna be there for some time because they know what they're doing and they've been doing it for a while. Even though some things have changed, but they're gonna remain relevant. And you gotta do what you gotta do to stay up and stay relevant. I love that they have the best recruiting class. I gotta see it on the field because we all know on paper don't mean a goddamn thing. But I mean, if A&M's good, that means more competition than SEC, which is what we all love to see. We hate seeing one or two teams dominate the entire conference. So if A&M is up, let them be up. But I'm not jumping on their bandwagon yet.
Well, SEC starts and ends with Nick Saban, starts and ends with Alabama. Bryce Young, reigning, defending Heisman Trophy winner. Will Anderson on the other side, maybe the best defensive player in the country, looking like a top five pick going into the draft next year. Bryce Young as well, so they could have two top five picks. Alabama. He called it a rebuilding year, and we know what they do when they lose a national championship. They usually come back and win it, Cravante. I know you're not a big fan of the Roll Tide mantra, but got to give the devil his due, right?
Oh man, listen, baby. It's all listen, I don't get a chance to do it often, so I take my opportunities when Alabama loses because they're always gonna be there. I know they're gonna be back. You know what I'm saying? So, but like you said, starts and ends with Alabama. This is why teams like A&M gotta take advantage because Nick Saban's been on his throne even when he lose. It's like, but they went to the championship again. They'll be back. Trust me. They have arguably the best. I'm gonna say top two as far as quarterbacks because my guys at Ohio State, but have arguably the best player maybe on offense and the best player on defense. And they have, I believe, was it eight? Is it eight seniors?
A lot
That's
of
eight
upperclassmen.
rising seniors, something like
Yeah,
that.
a lot of upperclassmen, which is not normal.
Not at all. But we know in college football, upperclassmen in football and in basketball, that can be the difference in the national championship because we know the guys that leave early they go on and leave, but the guys that stay are embedded into the program, and I think it means a little bit more in the team in the team sports.
Real quick, Tiger Raven. I'm gonna get to your question about Clemson because I did want to touch on Clemson, Cravante. That was a team I didn't mention to you earlier, but I did want to touch on Clemson because I am not sure what to make of Clemson either, but the ACC is kind of wide open at the same time.
Yes.
But SEC, how do you see it playing out? Who do you see winning the SEC championship? Tiger Raven, we're going to answer that question in a second. I'll hit that next. Who do you see winning the SEC? I'm going Bama. I'm picking Bama. I'm
It,
going Bama over Georgia. I'm gonna go Bama over Georgia. I'm gonna go chalk Bama over Georgia.
it's hard to go against anybody else in this.
Yeah,
And again, I'm not a Alabama, and I'm not an Alabama fan because I don't like front running.
right.
That's my thing. But when you're good, you're good. I always give respect when it's due. So yes, Alabama will be in the SEC championship game somehow, some way, and they'll probably win it. I'll be hoping against it, but they'll probably win it. And it's just what it is. And LSU is another team where we're not sure.
Brian
Um,
Kelly's the new coach. I'm not sure about them. I think that's going to take them
yeah,
a few years.
I don't know, but we're gonna go with what we've seen and what's been consistent, and that is Nick Saban, Alabama. And oh, they just got a quarterback who just came off winning the Heisman Trophy.
Yep.
And probably the best defender in all of college football. Yeah, yes, the nod is going to Alabama.
We both agreed there. Before I get to your conference, which is the Big Ten, which we'll spend some time on, ACC, more specifically Clemson, I guess they'll win it by default. I don't really love any team in this conference. Clemson's probably the most talented. We know about Dabo, Tiger Raven. I mean, you guys may be able to get in. I don't think y'all are gonna make the playoffs though. I don't. I just don't see it over a SEC team possibly because you know two SEC teams are getting it.
Absolutely. Somehow, some way, yes. And Ohio State's getting in. So there's one spot left.
Is that DJ
um
Ukulele? That's the quarterback now. Tiger Raven. Ukulele.
Lele, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm gonna call him ukulele. I'm gonna have a ukulele playing the whole
Lele.
season.
I mean, again, going to recent memory and recent history, I mean, it's Clemson. I mean, because we look at the ACC, we look at, we got Duke and North Carolina, Miami, Pitt. Like, ugh, Pitt is ranked. Pitt is ranked this year, but I mean, I don't know. I don't love anybody.
People are high on Pitt. I'm not high on Pitt either. I heard their name thrown around. I don't buy into them over Clemson personally. No.
No, I don't
Yeah.
buy into them either. But they are ranked. How long will they be ranked is the question. But I mean, I guess I'll lean Clemson, but it's not by much. They're the most proven and head coach and proven. I'll lean that way.
Got you. So hopefully Tiger Raven answered your question, but I do want to see how what is it? A Lele? See how he plays.
Ukulele. All right.
Ukulele.
Don't
It,
don't get me lying.
hey man, that could be a trap game. Don't go in there think you just gonna beat up on Georgia Tech. I mean, in prime time, and we shall see. But Dabo, he's a hell of a coach, so I'm sure they got a lot of talent outside the quarterback if he does not get it done, and he probably got somebody waiting in the wings if he does fumble the bag.
As he should. As he should.
But let's get to it. Probably the second best conference in football, which will be getting even deeper in 2024 as USC and UCLA will be joining the Big Ten Conference. Cavante, your thoughts on that real quick with the conference realignment, getting USC, getting UCLA, basically in 2 years, so not much longer. You know about Ohio State, you know about Michigan, Michigan State, Maryland. You want to throw them in there somewhere, Wisconsin. I mean, Big Ten. My gosh, it's right there with the SEC.
Yes, Big Ten is wildly talented, and bringing in the heavy hitters from the other side of the country um, is not too shabby either. Um, Again, all about money, like most things. It's all about money. That big why did Maryland go to the Big Ten? Money.
Yes,
It's
sir.
all
You know,
about the bag. And USC is doing a kind of a hard shift right now because one, they have not been looking good as of late. Um, Shout out to our good friend and brother D. But USC has not been looking good as of late. And college football is a little weird when USC is not relevant. One way to get relevant, coach, head coach, changing your coaching, get a top-notch head coach. That's step one, and move to bigger and better competition. Even though changing of conferences is not as doesn't happen as much as changing your coach, but changing conferences to a Big Ten conference with all them heavy hitters, that means more TV time, which means better talent and better coaching. This is a better product overall. So big ups to USC making this move, and UCLA. Some would say it's a basketball school. You know what I'm saying? Like you,
they ain't
you,
trying to be outdone. They ain't trying to be
you,
outdone.
UCLA not really trying to be outside like that. You know what I'm saying? They not really trying to be outside like that. And I can't wait to see them play Ohio State in the cold and Penn State in the cold. I can't I can't wait. Northwestern, the big house. I can't wait to see them boys play in the cold. It'll be something to see. But USC, The relevance is returning.
I'd be scared of Clemson too, Tiger, if I was a Maryland guy. Just saying. Just Maryland football. Don't get me started on that. That's a whole
We'll
nother
we'll
thing.
we'll we'll save the money. We'll leave it
Uh,
there.
but back to the Big Ten. Starts and ends with Ohio State and number 7,
Again,
CJ
again.
Stroud.
Uh, yeah. CJ Stroud, Heisman hopeful. Here we go again. I think he's, believe it or not, I think he should be in the catbird seat to win it because chances
I
are,
actually agree with you. I actually agree with you.
chances are, Bryce is not going to get it back to back. Like I think the voters will really go against that unless he has an astronomical, phenomenal, out of this world. He ain't throw no picks this year, or and Alabama's beating everybody by 50,
Right.
including the SEC championship. Like unless it's something along the lines of that, um, I don't think Bryce is going to get it back to back. It's very very tough for returning Heisman Trophy winners to get it back to back. So that leaves the door wide open for CJ Stroud. But Ohio State, Buckeye Nation, it's we here. Listen, I want everybody to know Ohio State be having them wide receivers. There is a brother by the name of what's his name, Jamison Williams,
Yeah.
who was like fourth on the depth chart in at Buckeye Nation. I had to go. He had to go to Alabama and got picked in the first round. He was like fourth on the depth chart. Ohio State got them wide receivers, and we got a couple guys that was sitting right behind Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, and it's going to keep going, churning, keeping it going. Um, Defense top tier. I'm not saying they're going to be as dominant as Alabama, but top tier. And we got the Heisman hopeful at quarterback. It's all up from here, baby. It's all up.
And speaking of which, they bought in Jim Knowles from Oklahoma State to fix that defense, which gave up a lot of yards last year, which was a lot of the issues which we saw against Michigan and against other teams for Ohio State. So they're going to hopefully be a little more stout defensively as well. Are you afraid of is Michigan getting any love from you, or y'all gonna roll them over?
Now we're gonna roll.
Revenge.
We gonna roll. And I do uh, I like I do like what Michigan represents. They are a staple in the Big Ten, but not against Ohio State, brother. um, I think we'll continue to roll for Michigan. I don't know how the team is looking, but I know my team is top notch, so I'm not really worried.
They're not as good as last year, in my opinion, Michigan. So
I think that's the thing, man. I think a couple of these teams are going to take a step back, and that just leaves who was already in front of you.
right.
um, Jackson Smith, what's his name? Jackson Smith,
Oh, he had
and
like 14 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl,
that. He's top 15, top
and he was
15 next year draft, yo.
and he was like third wide receiver, maybe second.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like he got the crumbs
Bruh, he's a
and was
beast.
making it work.
Probably
He got the
like
crumbs.
another Garrett Wilson type.
Yeah. He'll probably be top 15, maybe top 10 in next year's draft.
I agree, and Stroud will be top 5 with Bryce Young and Will Anderson. That'll be 3 of your 5.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I really don't have much faith of anybody in the Big Ten outside of Ohio State. I guess Michigan will be second, but Ohio State's going to win the Big Ten. They should be in the college football playoff, no doubt.
No doubt. No doubt. But it's probably minus money for them to make the college football
Yeah.
playoffs. And I'd still bet it.
Yes. Um, USC, they'll be joining the Big Ten, but they're still out west for now. Is USC back? Got Caleb Williams, got Lincoln Riley. A whole bunch of transfers coming from Oklahoma, other schools, NIL, a lot of talent. I think actually a favorable schedule. I looked at it a while back and I've looked at it recently. I think a team that could get close to double digit wins. Now, I don't know if that'll be enough to get them in the playoffs, but is USC back?
I think they took the first couple steps to becoming back and becoming relevant. I've been following um, Caleb Williams for a little bit now.
Yeah,
He's from DC.
that's
He
right. He
went
is.
to Gonzaga, and he was a standout, very much a standout. And he had letters. I think he ended up break his I think his top three down, and of course, obviously Oklahoma was on there. I think Oklahoma, Texas, the usuals.
Right.
And he chose Oklahoma, and we know why. Lincoln Riley put them boys in the league, and they get Heisman's down there. So I mean, it's only right you go with the guy who's gonna propel you to where you want to go. So as soon as I heard that Lincoln Riley left like a thief in the night to go to USC,
Private
I'm,
jet.
I'm
On his private jet, by the way.
I don't think they packed nothing. I don't think they packed nothing. Wife and kids, we going to LA. She said, LA? We out. Norman? We're talking Norman
To LA.
to
The
LA?
Rose Bowl.
I don't care. I'll leave everything too. Just give me my MacBook. Give me my MacBook. But and I just knew, I was like, Caleb Williams is out of here. Caleb Williams is out of here. And with the whole transfer portal thing, like we said earlier, this is like free agency for college football. You know what I'm saying? There's no real waiting period. You could talk to people before you actually go through the portal.
Yep.
So you can have basically a guaranteed, hey, we already talked. Let me go through this portal just to confirm it.
And you can play immediately. You don't have to wait anymore.
There's no waiting period. So I think USC one, bringing it back to relevancy, bringing in a guy like Lincoln Riley, this team is going to be back in probably less than 2 years, like back to USC back. They have a great shot of getting double digit wins this year, but head coach, quarterback, I think that's enough. that might be enough to switch it up. And what conference they in?
Was it Pac? Was it still the Pac? Pac? Was it Pac-12 still?
Whatever they're
Okay.
probably gonna win it. Whatever, they're probably gonna win it.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
probably gonna win it. Pac-12, whatever. That means Pacific 12, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
going to win it. They're probably going to win it. Yeah. They took some crucial steps, and they're taking their steps pretty quickly. Now, of course, we have to wait until we see it on the field. But Caleb Williams is nice, guys. I don't know if I can take y'all back to the Oklahoma versus Texas, when that bull that was in front of him was looking god awful. His name continues to escape me. I think he's in South Carolina. Is he in South Carolina right now?
He
Ritter?
transferred. Yeah, he transferred. Yeah, he did transfer. Ran him out of town. Ran him right out of town.
Right out of town, because he was looking bad and they were down by a lot. Caleb Williams comes up in there and they come back and win. Oh yeah, it's a wrap. 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 And I was like, I saw it. He's just waiting in the wings. He was not going to be sitting for long. And the only reason why the guy that was in front of him was in there so long because they kept winning. And they were undefeated. Now, they had some really ugly wins, but they were undefeated, which I think was probably the only reason why, he was still in front. But after that Texas game, I was like, yep, this is the guy. This is the guy right here. But yeah, Caleb Williams is about to be, hey, Dre, what up, baby?
Hey, what's going on, family?
He spoke up the guy. He spoke up the guy. And he appeared.
There you go. But yeah, I think Caleb is another outside shot. I gotta check the odds for the Heisman. Now, I'm not saying he's gonna be my boy CJ Stroud, but He has an outside shot, back of relevancy. Will helping USC coming back to relevancy. But like you said, man, they have a lot of transfers, a whole lot of transfers. It's gonna be some. It's a number one top 5 guys over there. I'm sure that we don't know about, but they're probably gonna run through the Pac-12.
Dre, welcome in, my good brother, man of a thousand nicknames, super producer, the professor. USC, brother, you showed up when it's showtime. We talking Hollywood. USC, brother. We're saying, are they back? I know we got another team I want to hit on with you about, are they back in Florida, but do you think USC is back? And Cavante says in less than 2 years they could be right in that national championship picture.
I agree with him. I mean, once you get somebody like Lincoln Riley in there, you saw, like he said, all the different recruits. I mean, USC speaks. It's a name. It's a name brand that's going to speak for itself. So you don't really have to do much when it comes to the recruiting side. You got the good coach in there, Lincoln Riley. I mean, the sky's the limit for this team. And like he said, within a couple of years, because it doesn't really take much in college football with all the transfers and getting students in there and then implementing his system, that yeah, USC will be back definitely real soon, especially by the time they do all these conference changes. Yeah, USC will be right back in the picture. But I mean, you can already see some other teams, like you said, who are about to make some huge turnarounds. I mean, you see Texas right now, and them getting one of the Mannings. So I mean, the programs are out there that are expanding beyond just what we've seen in the past with college football, as far as Clemson, Alabama. Hence why Nick Saban was mad with what was going on with Dion, because I mean, you just see the landscape is just changing, which is better for all. I mean, sports at the end of the day, we want it to be a level competition for all. I mean, we don't want, I mean, sometimes it's fun to see, one team dominate and you're curious to see if this team can get knocked off. But at the same time, you just don't want this one team just completely obliterating everybody. So I'm excited for college football because I think that the landscape is on the horizon to change.
October 15th, fellas. Mark this on your calendars. USC and Utah. That will determine the Pac-12. I know Utah's getting a lot of love. I didn't mention them specifically, but I think that will determine the Pac-12, and I think the winner of that game could be in the college football playoff. Just a little tease of who I think may be in the college football playoff. We'll talk about in a second. But October 15th, I think that'll probably be in prime time. They haven't put a time out, but USC goes to Utah. So I think it's a road game for USC. That should be good. And I think USC plays Stanford week 2 as well. So we'll get an early look at USC uh, to see how good they are, if they're good as advertised. Dre, we hit on the SEC. We know, I mean, I ain't gonna make you roll tide tonight, but I'm pretty sure you're rolling with Bama to come out the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Nick Saban is there, honestly, they ought to be the favorite. Now, I'm curious when these changes happen with the different conferences, once you bring along some of these different teams in the SEC, how things will be. But for right now, Alabama should be the favorite to not only win the SEC, but to win it all.
And real quick, Big Ten. Me and Cavante have the Ohio State, as you like to say.
Mhm.
Any argument for me there?
No, I mean that's one of the, like, when I was saying that there are some teams that you just know are just going to do their thing, and right now they're the team in the Big Ten. And I mean, I saw Uncle Rogers comment about Maryland should have stayed in the ACC, and I completely agree. When it comes to the basketball side of things, yeah, Maryland is able to compete when it comes to that. But as far as the football side, yeah, I wish they would have stayed in the ACC. So,
Now,
yeah,
Dre. Now, Dre. You know why they moved?
I know why.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
but I mean, um, it it wasn't. No, it was. I was getting ready to say it was you, but no, it was Shane. Um, and shout out to that brother because his life's about to change in a few hours.
Woo, woo.
But
Shortly, shortly,
but
man.
we but I
Raj, where you at?
remember I remember when we were working with the other station, and I saw Shane at the game, and Maryland. I mean, it was a complete beatdown what the Ohio State did to them boys, So yeah, I think it was a mistake when it comes to at least the football side of things.
Hey,
Transferring.
listen, man. You want to come to the big boy conference? But you got to bring the big boy recruits and the big boy coaching and all that with you because you on TV a lot more than you were in the ACC. And like I said, you know why they left.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ten got that money over there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, but you're right. The competition side of the game, it's going to take some time. Basketball, they there, they're competing. Football's a different animal. Different animal.
Yeah.
Tiger Raven, I do agree. Utah does play Florida week 1, but I don't really like Florida this year. I don't think they are. I think they're going to take a step back personally, but we'll see. It could be a trap game, but that'd be a good week 1 game as well. I think they play Saturday night, so something to watch if you're looking for football because it'll be on all weekend. So we all agree. We talked about USC. Dre, real quick, we were talking about Clemson real quick too, and then I'll hit another team in the ACC that I think could possibly challenge Clemson because I was actually waiting for you to get on here. Are you believing in Clemson, or do you think that Miami? You've been calling them back for the
Mm-hmm.
past about 3 or 4 years, hoping they've been back. Is this the year they can finally make that jump and defeat Goliath in Clemson?
No. Uh, I know it's that simple to say, but no. And the reason I say that is because um, even it goes back to the whole chain thing that they had. Um, and I liked it for the U. I thought that was a good thing, and it was kind of fun. But I mean, even then, I thought that they had a good team, and then you just saw that they just weren't ready quite yet. So it's still kind of a wait and see when it comes to Miami. It would be great if Miami could compete with Clemson because that's another school. Like when Miami is doing good, I mean, I think all of college football is great.
Right. I agree.
So,
I agree.
but I'm not ready to. I'm not ready to go all in, as my good brother would say. I'm gonna fold on this one.
Got you. So we pretty much ran through the major conferences. I want to hit on a team. Is Notre Dame about to join the conference, or they're just going to stay independent? Because
No,
uh,
they're gonna stay in the ACC,
okay, okay, that's right.
at least
Um,
for now.
are you buying the Notre Dame hype? What do they rank fifth, Cravante? I think,
Fifth.
No,
Fifth.
I
and they
just
have a black coach too. I want them to actually do well now.
I want them to do well, but ever since that national championship game, I just haven't never brought into their hype after that. And they had a pretty good team, but ever just since then, they just have not seemed to be been the same team. It's kind of it's not as bad as the Falcons when they lost the Super Bowl, but it's kind of in that realm of yeah, we got to the big dance, we lost, and I don't know how we're gonna get back.
Go ahead, Cravante. They play Ohio State week 1.
They better not.
I
Hold
mean,
on.
they
Let
will
me.
get mollywopped if they do.
Is
Or did they? Is it?
that
Is
ought
it?
not to be the schedule? Hold on.
That is Saturday night. Oh, Notre Dame at
Hmm.
Ohio State. Okay, I knew I wasn't tripping.
Thrashing.
Well, so much for that. Marcus Freeman
Yeah.
is the coach, by the way, former D coordinator for the Fighting Irish. So a brother, shout out to him,
You
getting
know
that
what?
national attention.
You know what? I saw on one of the social medias that because the spread was 17 and a half. And he
Mm.
brought that up and he said, oh, we're going to use the bulletin board material. So the spread was 17 and a half. It looks like it went down to 17. Um, but it's 17 for a goddamn reason. It's 17 for a goddamn reason. And that's a road game for Notre Dame as well, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it was in South Bend, maybe it's a little
It
closer,
would have
but
been 14. It would have been 14. God damn it. 13 and a half. 13 and a half, 14. That's what it would have been if it was in South Bend. But
and
come
they
on now.
and they still have to play Stanford, Clemson, of course,
Hmm.
and USC. You know they play USC all the time. So they got
They
some big games.
they will not be fifth for long. I will state that right now. They will not be fifth for long.
And I don't
I, I'm
understand why they
I
keep getting
think I
ranked
think
so
they're a
high.
little bit overrated if you ask me, honestly. But Notre Dame, that's another staple. in this here college
Okay.
football, so they're gonna get the they'll get lean gracefully before not. But
Dre, real quick, switching gears, I didn't ask you about Texas A&M and Jimbo. I know you like Jimbo. They got the number one recruiting class, NIL, obviously. Are you buying the hype of Texas A&M to compete with in Alabama or Georgia, possibly in the SEC? Cravante and I are kind of a wait and see approach.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like how I said about Miami, Jimbo is a good coach. Texas A&M is another good program, but it's a wait and see at this point because um, you got to give it some time with Jimbo right there in that situation. So I think it's unfair for us to kind of think that hey, he's just that leap is about to happen. Give it a little time. I mean, that's great that he's got the number one recruiting class, and that's one of the people that Nick Saban had an issue with. But at the end of the day, you still gotta give it a little time to see what Jimbo can do right there at Texas A&M.
Okay, got you, got you. Let's switch gears because we pretty much got our conferences out the way and we talked about some teams. I want to talk about the Heisman before I get you guys' four teams for the playoffs. Last year we saw Bryce Young from Alabama, Dre win it. Like Cravante said, you rarely see back-to-back Heisman Trophy
Mhm.
winners. Do you think Bryce Young should be the favorite? Are you predicting him to win? Do you like Stroud in Ohio State, Caleb Williams in USC? Maybe another name as I pull up some names real quick. Let me see. Go ahead, Dre.
I'll say this about Alabama. He has potential to do it back to back, but I don't think that he'll do it because I just don't see him being a standout. I think somebody that was kind of like we like in college football, we've seen some people who are like standouts to possibly win it back to back, like the Trevor Lawrences, the Tim Tebows of the world. You know those type of guys. I could see them. Reggie Bush. You know, like those electrifying players. I just don't feel that right now. I heard Cavante talking about Stroud, and I think that he is probably the favorite right now. To me, if you had anybody, I would probably say him right now. Of course, the season can change, but right now he would be the favorite.
Archie Griffin, the only player to win back-to-back Heisman's, running
long
back
time
from
ago,
the
long
Ohio
time
Yeah,
State,
ago.
by the way, Cravante. Yeah, it'll be tough. Do you have a person you predicting, Dre?
um, I'm gonna go with the favorite in Stroud. I think that right now, um, I know the season hasn't started, but I think that that would be the guy. If you ask me who would be it, it's probably him. Um, but I mean, I'm curious to see what happens because every year somebody stands out or somebody
Hmm.
comes along where you're like, all right, I could see this guy winning it. And I think that right now it's probably him. But like I said, we'll see when the season starts up.
You got Stroud at plus 250, Cravante, Bryce Young plus 350, Caleb Williams plus 900, B. John Robinson out of Texas plus 2,000, DJ Ugalele out of Clemson plus 2,800, Jackson Smith and Jabba plus 3,000. So Tyler Van Dyke, I do like him. He plays for Miami, Dre. I think he's a name to look out for. Maybe not in this draft coming up, but maybe in another year or two. He's going to be pretty good. Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss, Will Anderson. We don't see defensive players win the Heisman, so I don't know if we'll see that. Trayvon Henderson out of Ohio State as well, Cravante, and Spencer Rattler is in South Carolina. Yep, that is true. Any you going with Stroud,
Yeah,
Cravante?
right level. I again, like I said, I think C.J. Stroud. But hey, man, sprinkle a little something on Caleb Williams. Sprinkle a little something on Caleb Williams at plus 900. Won't
I'm
hurt,
not
baby.
mad
It's
at that.
plus 900.
I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that. So CJ Stroud over under 5 touchdowns on Saturday night.
Whew,
Over.
man. Oh gosh, he might get. Can we get combined? Do they have to be passing?
I don't know. I think he might put on the show. Him and Jackson Smith and Java, they both might go off
Because I
again.
can see 5 plus.
Yeah.
I can see 5 plus. If you give
Yeah.
me 4.5, definitely screaming over. If you give me 5, he could
Dre's
get
like
5.
Dre's like I'm
I think
taking it.
I can see him getting 5.
I said
Maybe
over.
three, three or four passing, and maybe a couple on the ground.
I say over.
You think they're gonna cover that 17?
Hell, what?
Hell, they gonna go over that 17.
Killer, what's the over under? A better question, Byron. What is the over under
Yes,
for this
yes.
game?
I,
Uh,
I, I do agree. Well, Tiger Raven pretty much dismantled the Heisman talk. Yeah, I don't see it either. But hey, who knows? I do think Stroud is the favorite. I think he's going to break records possibly with that
Mhm.
offense. And Ohio State's on a mission, and I think they wanted to end hopefully with the trip to the national championship game, which we'll get to in a second.
58
Um,
and a half.
that's a over. I take a over.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I take a over.
Ohio
Yeah.
State is getting 60.
Yeah, I take
Oh, definitely.
I take the over.
So
Yeah,
I'm smashing. Matter of fact, I might put that bet in right now just because
there you go.
before
Um,
that shit before it go up. Before it go up some more. I'm
all
taking the over.
right. Obviously, this all leads to college football playoff. Do we want to see expansion before we give our four teams? Do we want to see expansion and how many teams? We talk about this every year, but I guess it kind of changes with the seasons, Dre.
I've been a fan of expansion for years, and I say double it up to 8.
Okay, Cavante.
Yes. I thought 4 was just a trial to see how it works. And I was like, okay, it's cool, but we could do better. So yes, I'm of the mindset of a 6 or 8. But definitely more than 4. But again, I want to point out something Dre said earlier. Um, we like uh, the playing field to be level, to a degree, and
Mhm.
let's see some new blood in there.
Yeah,
Yes,
the last thing we
the
want is an eighth seed to get in there, and then they get mollywopped, and then you like then we give them ammunition as to be like, see, this is why we didn't expand the
Right.
playoffs. You know?
But with the NILs, would you call it, Byron? NIL love.
there you go. There you go.
With the NIL love going on, man. Hey, man, somebody gonna get in there and surprise us, and that's all we want to see.
Yeah.
I said at least six because you get the Power Five conferences and at least one wild card. So
That's why I was saying 6 for
yeah,
that. But
but eight, I agree
with
with eight
8,
just because sprinkle a little money on a teams that might get mollywop, but hey, makes it more entertaining.
yeah, but 8 you have the opportunity for more at large
Yep,
bids. So
yep,
I'm
yep.
cool with it. Just give me more than 4.
So I guess with that being said, the college football playoff is in Houston this season. Cravante, who are your four teams? You can go from 4-1 if you want to start low and high, and then I'll go to Dre, and I'll get the national championship prediction as well.
Um, I mean, ugh. 4 is probably 4. It seems like 4 has been the one that's been shifting. 4 is like the one that's been shifting back and forth. Pretty much, I mean, it's been Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma was up in there when Lincoln Riley was there, and they was going through their Heisman quarterbacks. Um, this is a tough one.
Hmm.
All right, I'm gonna jump out there. I'm gonna jump out there with this one and say it comes a year sooner than it should. I'm gonna say USC gets up in there.
Okay.
Hmm.
Alabama, Ohio State. Um, I think Georgia. Georgia will still be there. I think they'll take a step back, but they're still a lot of lengths ahead of the people that's behind them. So I think they'll take a step back, but they're still so much better. Um, so Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, and I'm gonna throw USC in there.
Okay. Dre.
Ooh. um, like my brother, I'm gonna go out on a limb for one. I was curious. I was really tempted to say two teams out of that Big Ten in Michigan and um, the Ohio State, but Michigan may have reached their maximum potential. So I'm gonna roll with the Ohio State. I'm gonna say um, of course, Alabama. Um, I'm gonna roll with Clemson. There's always a sleeper team in there, and I want to say Texas, but Texas is not quite ready yet. So I'm gonna roll with the safe choice to say Georgia is the other team.
It's crazy because Cavante, I really have, I think, the same four teams. I really thought it was going to come down to Utah or USC as that fourth team, and I'll go
And I
US.
mean,
I'll go
I can't
USC.
get mad at that. I can't get mad at that. But like I said, I just have a feeling that they're
You think they might slip up the pressure, the 1 year away?
yeah, not
I
qu-
can
not
see that.
not quite
Again,
yet.
like I said, I call it will be a year early. It'll definitely
Yeah,
be a year early.
So you sound like me when I'm talking about Texas because I think Texas is getting ready to have that turnaround. But
Sure.
like I said, I don't think they get it till Manning starts at quarterback for them.
I can see that. Now I do think we talk about money all the time. What more money could you get than Alabama against USC semifinal?
Come
That
on
would
now.
be
Mhm.
money.
Run it up.
So I think we could
Run it
get
up and
something
take the
like that.
over. Run it up and take the over.
And then I think we could get Ohio State, and I still think Georgia will make the playoffs as well, Cavante, with you, just because I think they still have enough, and Stu Bennett is pretty good for the college football game. And I think we're inevitably getting to Alabama, Ohio State. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
Come
So
on,
we pretty
baby.
much all have the same teams in there. It's just the one surprise team, I
Right.
think.
Yep.
Well, Cavante, who's your national champion? You going with your boys?
Oh, the Heisman hopeful. He gonna Heisman Trophy, national champion, first overall pick. Boom, boom, boom. Right there.
That would definitely solidify it.
That's
You know
it.
what? You know what? I agree.
Mm,
I
No, I
think
believe you.
no, I'm not going to say roll tide or nothing this year. The reason I'm going to say the Ohio State is because I go back to that Michigan game. Remember when Michigan beat them in the playoffs, and we all of us were like, okay, we think it's going to be the Ohio State. They're going to really get it. I think last year they that was like Michigan's national championship, and I think that the Ohio State comes back on a vengeance tour, and it's just kind of like, okay, you got us last year, but this is a new year, and I think that they going to just steamroll their way into a national championship.
I'm going with Alabama just to be different. Bryce Young, right now, I still like him slightly better than CJ Stroud. That could change in a couple months, and it could all depend, like we always say, where they go when we get to that point. But Will Anderson is going to cause havoc. We know Alabama's going to have probably another two or three guys in the first round on the defensive side of the
Like
ball,
they always do.
and they're gonna have some receiver, baby Julio or baby Amari Cooper or somebody that we don't know about yet. That was like
A,
Jameson
a Jalen
Williams,
Waddle.
yep, a Waddle type that's going to come out and do his thing. So I'm gonna go Alabama, but over Ohio State, which would be ideal, which probably are the best two teams in college football, in my opinion.
Yep.
Well, fellas, I mean, any other pressing questions with college football before we get out of here?
Tell Rogers,
And
shut up.
oh Lord, what is he talking about? Roll Tide? Oh, yeah,
Talking
you're
about roll
welcome.
tide.
There you go. 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 Yes, that pretty much does it for our college football preview. Um, let us know. Comment down below. What are you looking forward to seeing this coming season? Who's your Heisman hopeful? Who is your surprise team? We like USC. Dre likes Texas in the future soon with the young Manning brother. Who are the four teams? Who plays in the national championship? Any surprises? Any of these conferences? You have any predictions or anything different from what the panel says as well? Any players to watch? And hey, what does Dion do this season at Jackson State? Does he possibly run the table and bring more notoriety and more people? They even had an HBCU combine, which I think was dope this year as
Yeah.
well. We saw the Rock out there for the XFL, so a lot of things going well in the in the HBCU conferences as well. And yeah, it's time for football. Um, we got a busy week coming up. We'll be live a week from today, NFL preview, where we get all into the divisions,
Woo.
conferences, Super Bowl previews, MVP. We'll do this thing all over again. But Jersey Dre, let the people know how to keep up with us, what they need to do if they're watching right now, and all that good stuff.
Oh, continue to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. let us know what you guys also want to hear. I mean, we give you these videos, but we do this for you as well. So whatever y'all want us to talk about, because we give you sports how you want it when you need it. And of course, like I said, continue to subscribe, and also check out the other videos that we got going on as well.
Yes, we're live.
Y'all. Stop the subs. Let's go.
Appreciate everybody for the subscriptions. Executive producer is Andre Belton. You can catch him each and every day. Cup of Dre, WEAA, Good Morning Baltimore, and the Flex Zone Sports Report, and of course, on the Flex Zone podcast as well. Cravante, scene producer, got those goofies of the week. Let us know. He's the commander and the Commandalorian, and we salute him as well. I'm God's favorite host, associate producer. And as always, we are live almost every day this week. Hit the bell, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, only place fellas giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Thank you guys again for watching. Welcome all the new subscribers. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. For Dre, for Cravante, everybody in the chat, appreciate the love and support. We're getting ready to get out of here, put the kids to bed. And until next time, y'all, we gone. Peace.
That's right. Heisman winner, national champion, #1 overall pick.